What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to talk about another stimulus check that will be going out to a certain state. So I want to focus on that. The reason that I want to talk about that is because we're looking at a situation where states are starting to just go it alone and implement these stimulus checks for gas. So this is really good because I think this could push the federal government to say, hey, look, we need to actually do something as well. We have states, we just had I just talked about California. They're talking about having some type of a stimulus check for gas, $400 per vehicle, 2 vehicles, so that would equal $800 per household. So I'm going to talk about another state today, but first off on this channel, we talk about financial news and what's going on in Washington, D.C. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see that check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of people trying to impersonate me and a lot of people putting this spam on in the comment section. So make sure if you see anything where they're trying to get you to buy Bitcoin or what have you, just disregard that stuff. Any links or anything like that, there shouldn't be links in the comments. If you see a link, do not click on it because it could be something, some type of malware, something to mess with your computer. So make sure if you do not see the check mark next to my name, you know it's not me. And if you see all this other stuff with links and all this stuff to go to, don't go to those links because it's all spam. Okay, so now let's talk about the state that I was referring to. So the state is New Mexico. So New Mexico on last Friday, they passed a bill. This is state only. They passed a bill to have a stimulus check of $1,000, up to $1,000 per household. So that's $500 per taxpayer. And so if you have a husband and a wife, that means $1,000 will be going to that household. So I think this is a really good thing that they're doing in New Mexico. We'll have to see if other states will follow suit, but we already know, I think Illinois, California, Alaska, and New Mexico, and there's probably some other states that are talking about this right now, having some type of a stimulus check. So this is really, really good news when it comes down to it because, and I told you guys this before, when it came to the old stimulus check, before this whole stimulus check for gas, they weren't talking about stimulus checks. Politicians were not talking about a stimulus check, but now that we're looking at the situation with gas prices on the rise, you have a lot of states that are stepping up and they're saying either we're going to do some type of a stimulus check or we're going to do some type of a tax holiday. We're seeing a lot of that as well. Although some of the tax holidays that I've seen, they're very, very short time periods. So we're looking at maybe a month, maybe 2 months. And the only problem with that is once that tax holiday ends, then the prices are going to shoot back up. And so that's the only real issue that I see when it comes to the tax holiday. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what other states come up with. But as of right now, New Mexico, I think, is the first to actually pass a bill where they're going to have these $1,000 checks going out, or $500 a piece checks going out. I believe that they said it's going to be in June and August, something like that. That's when they're going to start releasing those checks. So anyway, if you guys have any questions or if your state has any stimulus check, if they're talking about stimulus checks for gas, things like that, let me know in the comment section. That way I can let other people know. Now, I also want to talk about this too. I think this is very important when it comes to where we are in the federal government when it comes to anything. Legislation right now is pretty much at a standstill. We're not seeing any movement when it comes to any type of legislation. We know that Senator Manchin wants to start up negotiations with the White House regarding another package, another Build Back Better or something similar to that. However, there's still not, there's no serious negotiations right now. And so we're going to have to wait and see where that goes. And the reality is it's a tragedy. It really is a tragedy that we have Congress just not doing anything. Okay, so we'll have to see how long they just wait and stall. And I won't even say stall. They're just not working. We'll have to see how long they wait and when they will start looking to implement something. We know that leadership in the Democratic Party, they want something on the table by May. And the talk is that Senator Manchin wants to wait until July. So we'll have to see what they do and where they go. But the bottom line right now, they're not moving forward with anything. And so we'll have to see how soon they will really start to negotiate. Now, if President Biden really, and he's a cheerleader, okay? So understand that he's a cheerleader. Congress needs to do something. They are the legislators. They need to put something together, and they have not done that yet. But as the cheerleader, as the leader of the Democratic Party, President Biden needs to step up and say, look, this is what we need. This is what needs to get done. Start talking with Senator Manchin as soon as possible. Find out what they agree on and try to get some type of a bill through Congress. Because when it comes down to it, if you go with, I hate to say this, but Senator Manchin has a lot of power in this situation. So you're going to have to really listen to him and kind of go with what he wants. But you need to get something on the table and passed. Because if you don't get anything on the table and passed, it's really going to be bad in November. So we already anticipate it being bad in November, but it'll be even worse. So they really need to figure something out. And it's up to the president as the leader of the party to say, hey, look, this is our path forward. This is what we need to do. So we'll have to follow it and see where that goes. But as of right now, that's what we're looking at when it comes down to what's going on in Washington, D.C. And before I go, I did have a question about Colombia that I wanted to address. That question was about coffee. How is coffee in Colombia? Colombia is a large exporter of coffee. The U.S. gets about 40% of their coffee from Colombia, so it's a lot. Starbucks, all the major companies in the U.S., a lot of those companies are getting their coffee from Colombia. And the coffee in Colombia is really good. It is really good, and they take it very seriously. You have a whole region of Colombia they call it the coffee region, because that's all they do is grow coffee, and they're really, really into the whole coffee scene. So the coffee is good here. Now, one thing that to know, if you ever come to Colombia, you visit someone's house, they will always have coffee, and they will always offer you coffee. And in Colombia, when people offer you things, you should take them up on their offer. I know in the U.S., we kind of, no, it's okay, I'm fine, I don't want anything to eat, or I don't want any coffee. If you go into someone's house and they offer you coffee, or they offer you something to eat, you should say yes, because some Colombians might see that as really insulting if they offer you something and you don't take it. So I've learned anytime I go to a house, I'm always prepared to eat, and they will always offer me food, and they will always offer me coffee. And usually the coffee is in a little small cup, so it's not like a big coffee like we get Starbucks big coffees. No, it's a little tiny it's almost like a shot of coffee, and it's just they'll offer that to you. So if they're offering you coffee, don't think they're offering you a big thing of coffee. It's going to be just a little shot. You can take it all in one drink if you really wanted to. It's very strong, but if you wanted to, you could take it all in one drink. So I just wanted to answer that question. And like I said, make sure you guys hit the like button on the video, subscribe for more, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.